Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos, and today I want to talk about in-game Mythic Plus score, how it works, how you can get the required amounts, and what required amounts are there. They have changed, the reason you care about Mythic Plus score, first of all, it shows up in the group finder when you're getting invited to groups and stuff. You'll be able to see how much score people have, and so that's the kind of thing that will make it easier to get into groups. It's the same effect as Raider.io score. The more you have, the easier it is to get into groups and stuff. But the other thing that you should care about for M Plus score is Valor upgrades. So Valor upgrades have M Plus rating requirements if you want to upgrade your gear with Valor above the level of 226, right? You want to get it up to 229 or higher next season. The end of dungeon reward from a 14 or higher will be itemable 236, so you need to make 3 upgrades to get up to the cap for that type of gear, which is 246, which is pretty good. That's like halfway between heroic and mythic level gear. It's the equivalent of 220 right now in patch 9.0, that is. So this is a system that's worth engaging with, and it's worth trying to go for this 2000 rating if you can get your hands on it. But in order to do that, it's going to require some play on both tyrannical and fortified weeks. So here is the way that the M Plus score system is actually calculated. 37.5 rating baseline for completing a key. Every level adds an extra 7.5 rating, which means that a key level of 2 is already, that's already 52.5, plus an extra 7.5 from each affix that's on the key, right? You get one affix at 2, you get one affix at 4, you get an affix at 7, and the seasonal affix being added at plus 10 gives an extra 15 rating. So by going up to a 10 level key, you're getting 150 points for completing that keystone. Now, there's a little bit of a time bonus or time penalty, with the bonus being less impactful than the penalty. So if you complete the key up to 40% faster, you get extra 7.5 points, right? An extra key level, right? You can think of 7.5 rating as 1 key level. And you can lose 2 key levels by being up to 40% slower, and as you get even slower than that, you will get down to 0 score. So try to avoid depleting your key by 7 hours, doing one of those, weekly no-leavers that is infamous. So this is the table of the points that you can earn from each dungeon. In addition to this, so this is the rating you would get kind of in a vacuum for any given run, you will get 100% of that rating from the higher score across either tyrannical or fortified weeks, and then the other type of week you will get 33% score from that week, right? So say you do a dungeon on 12 and 10, you'll get 165 points plus the time or penalty or bonus from the 12 key on tyrannical week or whatever, or fortified week. And then the other week, if you did a 10, you will get 50 points, right? A third of 150 will be added onto your score for that dungeon, bringing you up to 215 for that dungeon. Now, there are 8 dungeons in Mythic Plus this season. Tazabesh isn't in M Plus yet, so you need to average 250 points for each dungeon if you want to get to Keystone Master, right? If you want to get to that 2000 rating to be able to upgrade your gear to 246. So, how do you do that? Well, 15s are the easiest way to do. If you want just a clean, easy way to do it, 15s, no time bonus required on both tyrannical and fortified, right? If we look here, 187.5 times 1.33333, right? Because you're getting 33.3 from the other week, is 250, right? 249.9999, right? But as this goes on towards infinity, the 9s go on as well. You get 250, and so multiply that by 8, and you have 1,000 or 2,000 score, right? So if you've completed these with even an extra second to spare, this goes up to 2,000. So that is one formula for getting Keystone Master, right? But the thing about this system is there's more flexibility, particularly by raising the key level of your, good week runs. You actually create a lot of distance pretty quick on your other week runs. So in addition to doing 15s on both weeks in all dungeons, you could do 16s, right? So if we do all the 16s, now we have 195 times 8. We have 1,560 points. So, if we want... man, why am I having so much trouble using my simple calculator functions, right? Dude, Okay. 2,000 minus 1,560. We only need 440 points now from our other week, right? So if we do all the 16s on, say, Fortified, then we only need 440 points from Tyrannical, which you can get from, so 165, that's for a plus 12 key, times 0.3333, right? And then times 8, 440. So 16s and 12s works, right? 16s on one week and 12s on the other week. That works. 17s and 10s work. 18s and 8s work. 19s and 6s work. But if you want to do nothing on the other week, if you want to do no tyrannical keys or no fortified keys, if you want to just get all of your 250 points from each dungeon from one week, you do have to go all the way up to 24. So what does this mean? This means you can create a lot of wiggle room on the other week by just doing a couple key levels higher on your preferred week in a dungeon. And then you can drop down several key levels in the other week, but you do really still want to put up at least some kind of score. But even just doing, a 10 is so much better than doing nothing, right? That's 50 free points that you're picking up on the off week, right? And that goes a huge way towards getting the 2,000 that you need. So that is the way that you will earn your 2,000 M plus rating. The important news is, if your goal is to do some Valor upgrading early in the season, if you're, say, a Mythic Raider and you're looking to Valor upgrade in whatever off slots you can't find good gear from at least Heroic Raid or from Mythic Raid or from PvP or whatever, the best way to do that is going to be to get the 2,000 rating, which you kind of need to plan out in advance, right? You can't just decide to get 2,000 rating and do it in 1 week. You need to lay the groundwork the week before and make sure that you're getting at least something on the board that week. Look at and try and get a bunch of 15s across the board on your calendar for that week. If your score is 5 15s, 2 14s, and a 12 or whatever on 1 week, it's pretty easy to get that caught up next week, right? You do 5 15s and like 2 16s. And that probably, and 6 15s and 2 16s, right, will add up to, that will make up the difference, right? Doing like a couple of 16s gives you a lot of wiggle room to be doing a lot of weird stuff that's lower than 15 on your off week. But the main week is the most important thing. So whatever week you have the higher score in, you are going to want to at least get to 15. It is hard to get to 2,000 score without having your good week being mostly 15s or higher. And again, the higher you need to go on some keys is going to be based on how much lower than 15 you go on the opposite week. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but in practice, I actually think this is going to make a lot of sense really quick because pushing score is a pretty easy thing to understand. It's pretty easy to look at your calendar, look at your little M plus page and figure out where exactly your score can come from. I should have not logged into an alt that has never done a key this season, but yeah, you can pretty easily look at this and be like, okay, where can I get some points, and then go and pick up those points. And if you keep doing that, and if you're able to time 15s, then you will eventually, just by doing that kind of stuff, you'll get to this score requirement, and it should work out pretty nicely. So all in all, I'm reasonably excited about the system. I think that pushing score is really fun. It is a lot more flexible than old Keystone Master, in that old Keystone Master had that hard requirement of plus 15 in every single dungeon. And this new one, you can get by without that if you can push up the 16, the 17 in other dungeons, and if you play those other dungeons on the other week of Tyrannical and Fortified, which is, it's not as flexible as one may have initially hoped around the system. There's not too many bonus points available for timing the keys super fast or anything like that. The main thing is just put something on the board, time a key at a certain level, and doing like a 10 on something where you don't currently have a score is way better than having nothing. It is a huge amount of extra points for doing something like that. Anyways, hope this video helped make things a little clearer about how the new system is going to work. I'm sure that I've confused some people, so I'm sorry if that's been you. I'll put the links to these articles in the description below. If you're somebody who learns better by reading, you can give them a quick read, see if that helps make sense of it. But in practice, it should make pretty good sense. If you're at all familiar with pushing Raider IO score, number goes up, brr. That's all there is to it. So, hope you liked the video. Check out my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/ratnos. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.